World Championship Cinema, what the world is listening to.
Alright, let's talk the week in review. G1. One more time, I'm going to say my MVP is Gabe Kidd. Takeshita was awesome. Jeff Cobb. Alright, quickly, quick G1 review. This is before the tournament part, so matches to watch. Gabe Kidd versus Zack Sabre Jr. Jeff Cobb versus Takeshita. Takeshita versus Bolton Oleg. Just the ending of the Goto versus Finley. Like, after seeing that, I was just fantasy booking in my head, like, Goto has to go all the way. And then, of course, New Japan, they eliminate him. Yeah, that's it for the G1. Just, I love the tournament I love the tournament. I have no real complaints except for they worked me into a shoot with Goto. Like, they had me believing that Goto was going to go all the way and he was going to go to the Wrestle Kingdom. And TV shows, House of the Dragon, that season finale was not a season finale. It was a 70-minute commercial for season 3. A lot of building, and a lot of fans aren't happy, and you guys are going to have to deliver in season 3 to keep the fans happy, because it was just build, which I enjoy, but without the payoff, like, what are we doing? Like, that's what season finales are for, right? I don't know. I'm going to Tokyo for 2 weeks in October. We're going to go see Kaiju Big Battle out there. I'm going to go visit some of my favorite spots, like this bar called From Dusk Till Dawn, Deathmatch in Hell. And for someone who doesn't drink, I need to find other places to hang out that aren't bars. I just love Tokyo. To me, it's like New York City, but if New York City was cleaner, the people were nicer, more efficient, safer. And I'm hearing they're experiencing over tourism right now, so I hope this trip's not gonna, suck. Like, I know it's gonna be a great time, but I hope, like, if there's any issues, I hope it's most likely gonna come from dumb Americans like myself who are gonna go and just overpopulate places. So it's gonna be something. Hopefully the tourists aren't tired. The locals aren't tired of us tourists. After we're done shooting this episode, we're probably gonna go see Alien Romulus, and I haven't seen a single frame from that movie, but I'm excited to see it because I love aliens. So, I'll give like a quick 30-second review next week. Though probably a lot of you have probably already seen the movie when next week's episode comes out, but good times. It's my opinion. Ooh. New Japan Capital Collision in DC. I think it's August 30th. They just announced Mercedes Moné versus Moto Watanabe. That seems like a pretty cool card. If I'm not working, I'll order it and watch the pay-per-view with my boys, my pals, my peoples. Actually, my favorite thing about pro wrestling is that it kind of brings people together, It's like it's like a sense of community. When you watch it with your friends, not everyone's into the same thing, and if you're with respectable people, you watch it with, I don't know, like, I just love watching wrestling with my friends and family. It's just something that makes me feel good. I just wanted to toss that out there. Back to this, something that's related to this movie.
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna go first, and then you'll go second.
Okay.
Recommending a match featuring CM Punk that predates his WWECW run. So I guess 2005 and below, because whenever WWECW started.
Gotcha. Okay. So
before he signed that contract.
Okay.
So we're going before that. So me personally, because I'm picking this because I was there. The Raven versus CM Punk. I don't remember the results. I just remember it being great. Raven versus CM Punk dog collar match at the Rexplex.
You know what's interesting? My match is from the Rexplex too.
Oh, it was also the Rexplex?
Yeah. That's the rivalry that they had. What they were able to do, it was really, really cool, and the type of wrestler Punk was back then, he was more of a flyer. He used to do split leg moonsaults. He used to do all types of shit.
And I think Gabe put him with Raven, specifically like Raven. Teach this kid.
Yeah.
This kid could do all the moves, but teach this kid how to work.
Yeah.
And I think that was always my theory, and I think that Raven, taught him how to, slow it down, kid, and drama, and like the shit that makes good wrestling into great wrestling.
Yeah. I mean, Raven's awesome. Scotty has always been awesome. It's funny going back watching Scotty Flamingo shit, because I mean but the thing about Raven is whether it was Scotty Flamingo or Raven, he was into it.
Yeah.
He was into it all the fucking way. He was all the way in. And that match, I think that really did a lot, for Punk, and it taught him a lot about slowing it down, letting it soak in. The fucking promos that led up to it, Punk cutting that emboldened promo. I think he was bloody in it, just all everything. Oh no, I think was he bloody in that promo, or somebody was bloody. I think it was Colt Cabana that was bloody in that promo, where he was talking about how Scotty pissed everything away and all this stuff, and man, just all of it together was really, really fucking good and very memorable, and something that was a bit of a launch pad for him.
Yeah, definitely. The Ring of Honor. Oh man, because when ECW folded, everybody was trying to be ECW 2.0. Like 3LW, I think it was called. Obviously the shit in California from Rob XPW. And those Jersey All Pro then got for a quick hiccup. Jersey All Pro was like ECW light, but then eventually like Frank. My opinion is like
R.I.P. Fat Frank, man.
I think he should be in the Hall of Fame. Any Hall of Fame.
I agree.
Like the GCW has their Hall of Fame.
I agree. Yeah.
I think Fat Frank should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I would like to nominate Fat Frank for the GCW Hall of Fame.
If there's anybody listening to this that could put that in someone's ear, definitely Fat Frank. Because I feel like Fat Frank went from like an ECW knockoff promotion to like the booking style's like a predecessor to the Ring of Honor style.
Yeah.
To the fact that a lot of JAP guys were in the first Ring of Honor show.
Yeah, man. I mean, that JAP was so influential, man, to what independent wrestling became and what independent wrestling is now. You wouldn't have Ring of Honor if it wasn't for JAP.
And now mainstream wrestling because of a lot of Ring of Honor or JAP. Well, a lot of Ring of Honor.
GCW does it. All these guys do it now. You know what I mean? They all kind of do the same formula that Angel. Shout out to Kane D, my brother. Angel Martinez. The way they booked it. Like it was exactly what wrestling will become now. The intergender matches, the hardcore matches, the technical wrestling matches, the battles of the flyers, the big tag team matches, the gimmick matches, all this shit that they did there, man. They grew a following, and they got in so much great talent there. I mean, I remember seeing Bryan Danielson versus Low-Key in Charity Hall, right in front of me, man.
Charity Hall, that's the Bayonne?
Yeah, Bayonne,
The Bayonne...
Yeah, the one with the low ceiling.
Yeah, the Bayonne Bingo.
Yep, the bingo hall over there, I mean...
So, say that again. Say that match one more time.
Which one?
AJ Styles versus...
Oh, no, it was Bryan Danielson versus Low-Key. Yeah.
Bryan Danielson versus Low-Key.
Yeah, Jersey All Pro Wrestling, bro.
Jersey All Pro Wrestling.
It was awesome. And they had a low ceiling, and it didn't matter. They still did what they did. But it was such a hard-hitting, intense submission match that, they didn't need any of that to keep the crowd captivated. But, I mean, fuck, I saw so many guys there.
No. Before having matches like that, most indie shows would, like, if I mention their names, it's not to besmirch them, it's just saying their names. Mm-hmm. But it'll be like Tito Santana versus Honky Tonk Man. Two fat guys versus two other fat guys. The guy who's paying for everything as a champion, defending against Metal, and also let's just toss in Snuka versus Metal Maniac.
Yeah.
That was pretty much the formula, and then Jersey All Pro.
Fucking Metal Maniac.
Jersey All Pro this is like, no, we're not doing that shit, and we're not doing ECW Light, and they pushed they had the formula that became what I think is modern wrestling.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And again, it's incredibly influential. It's 100% ahead of its fucking time. And it's crazy how that worked in a smaller atmosphere with a very rabid audience, and could be something that could be given to rabid audiences all throughout the country. So, yeah, man, big shout out to fucking Fat Frank. And
quickly, what's your match?
well, I'm cheating here, and I'm looking my matchup because I'm trying to remember if it was at this show or not. So, I gotta be a fucking J Brown here, and look it up. But let me see. I'm pretty sure it was also at the Rexplex.
But
No, it wasn't.
that would have been yeah. See, that's
That's 03.
A different definitely a different company.
No, it was JCW, man. It was
No, but I'm saying ring up. Like I was talking about my match is from Ring of Honor.
Oh,
yours,
yeah.
Yours is from JCW.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. All right. Let me see. Actually, no. The winner was Reckless Youth.
wow. You won the whole thing.
Yeah. Holy shit.
What's your match?
So my match is CM Punk versus Reckless Youth in the 2002 JCW Jersey J Cup. I was there that day, and my cousin and I were doing ring crew. My cousin and I were helping out. We were still training, and I remember it was really cool for us because we had a lot of like the indie guys that we liked at the time coming in. Bryan Danielson, CM Punk, Colt Cabana, guys that we had seen before. And you had the Briscoes coming in. The Briscoes were always awesome, and you had Low Key, Billy Real, R.I.P. Billy Real. Shout out to Billy Real and rest in peace, Billy Real. You had all the top guys from the era, Reckless Youth. Like I said before, Bryan Danielson, Low Key.
Was Quack there?
You know what?
Sorry, we're cheating, but
that's worth the Google. No, we're not cheating. Fuck it, we're old. But
how dare you not remember a wrestling show from
you fucking
20 years? Wow, 20 years ago.
yeah. I feel like he was, but he wasn't. So yeah, it was a quarterfinal match of the 2002 JCW Jersey J Cup, and unfortunately, Punk fractured his skull in the match. On a move in the ring. I believe it was a Buff Blockbuster. I think he had given it to Reckless, and Reckless bumped on his head, took a back bump on his head, and I didn't really notice it, or my cousin and I didn't notice it, and we had thought that he hit his head on the floor when he did this helo from the ring to the outside.
Yeah.
But he did it like a senton, And he went right over and did it to the floor. And I thought he smacked his head, but it was, I think it was his body, unfortunately, or part of his body. And didn't really notice anything at all. Didn't see anything wrong with him. It was funny because he lost the match, but at the end of the match, he grabbed a folding chair, and he used it like a walker, and he walked himself to the back, and it was really fucking funny,
Yeah.
He seemed perfectly fine. Super cool with everybody. Super cool with my cousin and I. Shook everybody's hand. It was nice to everybody. It was really, really cool. So he was a cool dude, man. And he went back upstairs, went to the locker room, and when he went up, I guess he was doing whatever he was doing. Me and my cousin were downstairs watching the rest of the matches. We saw him because we were right by the entranceway, and it was inside of an ice skating rink, right? It was a hockey rink, and we were like pretty much like imagine where like the goalie is, right?
Yeah.
Like right behind the cage. So my cousin and I were on either side of it, of a black curtain with an entranceway, there. So
the indie special.
Yeah. We were just hanging out there watching the show, chilling, doing whatever, and we see Punk walk down, and right behind us was this loading dock. So he goes and he sits by the loading dock because the door was open. I'm thinking he's getting air or something like that. We kept watching the show. So then at some point, my cousin had gotten up, and he had kind of, I guess, like started wandering around. And not too long after, he came back and he got me. And he was just like, hey, man. He's like, you got to come over here. And I'm like, what? What do you mean? He goes, Punk, man, something's up with him. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, something's up with him. So I go and I look and I see CM Punk sitting on the dock, and he's throwing up, but he's throwing up clear, and we were like, what the fuck? He had his towel around him and shit, and he was still in his gear, and I told my cousin, I'm like, yo, get Ricky O. You know, Ricky O was a promoter.
Yeah.
So he went and he got Ricky O and he got Cabana and they came and, you know, they fucking started checking on him and they called the ambulance. And I think they had a doctor that was there too that was, you know, checking on him and shit. And we just kind of like stood off into the background and we're like, what the fuck? You know, yeah, so we were just watching everything unfold. And it was fucking wild, man. And, you know, I was like, God damn, that really sucks, you know, because, you know, he's a really good wrestler and I hope he's okay. You know, I mean, that was the first time I had ever seen anything like that, like concussions or anything like that, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, I was kind of like, wow, you know, that was nuts. And especially, you know, from a wrestler and stuff like that. But, you know, they took him away. The tournament continued. Reckless Youth won it. And, you know, Reckless Youth and him had a great match, man. I mean, Reckless Youth, Tom Carter, you know, won a...
Tom Carter, good.
Yeah, indie legend, really, you know. Great wrestler all around. Signed by WWF at one point. Was in developmental in Memphis. And, you know, wrestle matches with Ron Killings, a bunch of the guys that were down there. You probably find those on YouTube now. But yeah, man, really good Punk match. That was like my first exposure to Punk. I hadn't seen him before that. And he had an aura to him, you know. He definitely... There, you know, there was something about it. Like, I remember in the match, he did, like, the classic heel move where he would feign an injury.
Yeah.
And then, you know, like, he really worked it. And then out of nowhere, he just fucking attacked him. And it was great. And good promo. And like I said, cool person, man. But great fucking match, man. And he ended up being okay. You know, he came back and he started working for JCW. But I ended up leaving, me and my cousin ended up leaving the company, like, a little bit after. So... You know, we had worked matches and stuff on shows that he was on actually too.
Yeah.
You know, opening matches and shit. But yeah, you know, that definitely left a lasting impression with me, and I always kept an eye on what he was doing, and you know, the stuff in Ring of Honor was always good. And you know, obviously even now, you know, he still has that ability to captivate people's attention, good, bad, or ugly. You know, so.
Yeah, it's weird because like honestly, if you just see him on the surface, you're like him.
Yeah.
But then when you watch him work, there is something there.
Yeah, when he talks and again, I think just the way he approaches the business, you know, he's very smart. He's very fucking smart, and he's one of the few dudes I think you can say that bet on himself and left and came back and still made money in spite of everything. You know, in spite of everything, like everybody was like, "Oh, you got knocked out in the UFC. Nobody's gonna want to fucking watch him." You know, I even thought like that at one point. I'm like, "Damn," you know, I kind of pondered it, but you know, people just kept coming back, and look at him now. You know, and then he made this movie. You know, he made this movie before he came back to AEW. You know, before he came back to wrestling, which man, he got that fucking Road Warrior pop that night too. That was another thing. That was
something we thought we were never gonna see.
Yeah, man. I mean, and again, look at this era we're in now. So, you know, don't be assholes, people, and you know, enjoy everything that's out there. Even if you don't like it, watch what you like. You know, watch what you like.
Yeah, just be cool. You know.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it is funny because like a friend of mine we were talking about today. Like, he texted me. He's like, "Why do people watch things they hate?" Because there are people.
Yeah.
There are people who, for years, like when WWE was at its creatively like abysmalness, people would hate watch it.
Oh,
I mean, to be honest, I just stopped, thanks to New Japan.
Well, you know, I mean, I always liked New Japan, man. I always dug it from when I first saw it, and all Japanese wrestling, really, for the most part, except the deathmatch stuff.
Oh, really? Like, I started the opposite. I started loving deathmatch. I loved death matches back then, but now when I watch it now, I'm just like.
Yeah, I can't do it. I mean, like, I understand it, you know what I mean? I get it. I get what it is, but, you know...
I mean, for me, death matches have to be built.
Yeah, I mean, you're really going pretty fucking far. I mean, it's like every match is a fucking blood feud, you know, so...
Plus, if these guys just met for the first time and they're trying to, like, you know, stab each other with forks, I'm just like...
Yeah.
Like I'm not emotionally connected, but yeah, so...
Hayabusa. I loved Hayabusa, man. Hayabusa, like I remember getting those FMW tapes.
That's where I started first FMW.
Yeah, that's, you know, with the guy with like the long hair and the glasses, the long blonde hair. I forgot what his name was. He looked like this teacher. Me and my cousin.
I see mine from Chill Theater, like at a booth in Chill Theater.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he looked like Miss Munson, this teacher we had.
Miss Munson.
Yeah, he did. They looked a lot alike. You know, me and my cousin had that inside joke, but yeah, I mean, you know, at the end of the day, bro, it's just again, just watch what you like, man, and it's good. And like wrestling's a freak fucking thing anyway. Wrestling's a taboo thing anyway, man. Like, you know, I've been made fun of so many times in my life for liking fucking pro wrestling. You know what I'm saying?
You like that fake shit?
Yeah,
It's
so
just like
we're a community of fucking outcasts already as it is. Like, why does there need to be fucking divisiveness? Like, we know what the top company is, money wise, attraction wise. We know who produces it the best, who does the stories the best, who does all that stuff the best. We know that. You know what I mean? We know what the best wrestling company, pro wrestling company, Pururesu is. We know what that is. We know what AEW is. We know what Lucha Libre is. We know what all that stuff is, and it's available there for people who fucking like it.
and it's like it's like wrestling itself is a genre.
Yeah.
And I feel like people don't realize that's like movies. A step above the word genre, I should say.
Yeah.
Wrestling itself is a medium in itself. Like movies, it's a medium in itself.
Yeah.
Music is a medium in itself. Plays are a medium in themselves, and wrestling is a medium in itself. So it's just like, like if you like Lucha Libre, there's nothing wrong with liking Lucha Libre. If you like the deathmatch stuff, there's nothing wrong with liking it.
There isn't.
What's wrong is telling people that they're wrong for liking things.
Right.
Unless the golden rule is hurting other people on purpose, which wrestling, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I understand. I think though wrestling fans also have to be honest, about what it is that they like and the kind of audience that it appeals to. And you have to understand, like, if something's for a smaller group of people, doesn't mean that it's fucking bad or unsuccessful. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we know what the big company is. We know what the big companies are. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just because McDonald's sells more burgers than your local diner doesn't make McDonald's better. That's just how it is.
Look at GCW. Look at what GCW is. Look at the angles that they've done, the things that they've done, the stars that they've done. The stars that they've had.
They've created.
Like
homegrown talent.
Homegrown talent too, and doing good shit, and doing character shit, and doing the extreme wrestling, and doing the fucking technical wrestling, and doing the indie stuff. You know what I'm saying? But to me personally, I would rather watch a GCW show than maybe watch most of AEW. Like, there are good things in AEW. I watch the people that I like, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I prefer, as a whole, like, if I'm going to watch that style of wrestling, I like what GCW does. I really do. I like what they do. I like the diversity of what they do. And, maybe it's just the indie wrestling fan in me. Maybe it's...
to be honest, I've been to a few GCW shows, and I still have no idea what it's about.
The big angles are what's good. Like, they haven't had a big angle in a long time, I don't think. The Mansard thing's been good.
Yeah, because when I've been to these shows, I'm just like, I feel like almost nothing's being built.
Yeah. I mean, like AEW is doing it a little bit better now, I think, than before. I think they're building. The Tony Storm thing is good.
Hell of an angle.
Christian Cage is good still, with what he's doing.
Yeah.
I think that's working out for Nick Wayne. And I think Nick Wayne needs to start working out more.
The thing is, from what I've heard, he's big. He's bigger in person.
Yeah, no, he's tall. He looks tall, but he's got to get more muscular.
Yeah.
That's it. Because he's got potential to.
But same situation with Raven and CM Punk. Just have Christian
mold him.
Yeah.
No. Now he's another one. I saw him in GCW, but. It's, again, all this stuff exists out there, and it's good, and people are getting employed, and wrestling isn't dead. That's the big thing, because wrestling could have died a million times. And it's still around because people still like it, because people still enjoy how people use pro wrestling to tell stories. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it's the greatest. I don't give a fuck how old I am. I'm still going to be watching this shit. My kids love it. Maybe I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully they have friends. They do bathe every day, so that's a good thing.
That's a positive.
Yeah, and they're not named Mark, so that's a plus right there too.
I think on that happy note, we're gonna call this episode of the podcast. If you're a wrestling fan, do not name your kids Mark. You know what you're doing.
Yeah.
All right. Name them Susan.
Yeah, definitely. And also check all your electrical outlets for any jism sputum.
Seriously.
Or
The first time I would have
liquids.
been jizzed on, I would have left that house.
Yeah, me too.
First time.
Me too.
Anytime I get jizzed on, I never go back to that place ever again.
Even if it's not jizz, it could be like some sort of strawberry flavored confection, but just the resemblance is not for me, man. So yeah, don't fuck a ghost, people.
So with that said, I'm just gonna do my magic goodbye dance, and we're out of here. Goodbye, everybody. We don't know how to sign off on this show yet.
No,
We don't have a signature.
What's the name of the show?
World Championship Cinema.
World Championship Cinema. Some people go to the cinema down the block. Some people go to the cinema, up a lake. Some people go to the cinema in the city. But on World Championship Cinema, it's always World Championship Cinema. I don't know where I was going with that. I don't even know how to end it either. You see, you like it? You thought I was going somewhere, huh? You thought I was going somewhere. I didn't even know where I was going there. Listen, watch World Championship Cinema where the big boys play. All right? There you go.
Oops.
You thought I was going somewhere.
I was like, yo, he's had this in the chamber.
Imagine.
He's had something in the chamber, like a goodbye in the chamber all this time.
I was like, I Norm McDonald it. I was like, I'm gonna bomb on purpose. Oh man, good shit, man. You got. Oh, you're one of those guys. Okay, I gotta make sure. Okay.
It's funny.
You do explosives. I get it.
I did it. It was WrestleMania, the one with the shitty finish. Triple H versus Randy Orton.
Oh my god.
So I was at my friend's house in Woodbridge, and his son was just learning. His son's like a little kid, like maybe 5 years old. Mm-hmm. Love the fist bump everybody. So when I did the explosion, that blew his little mind.
He was like, oh my god.
So now he's obviously that was WrestleMania, like whatever. So now like he's like an engineer, and I tell his mom, I'm like, I opened your kid's.
Yeah, you taught him explosives.
I opened his curious mind.
I taught him explosives, man.